Yeah, brilliant. So hi, I'm Bubbers-Jones from Medic Footprint, and we're here today at the Healthcare Startup Awards in Kensington Rooftop Gardens in central London. And we've just heard from Kohn, who's the founder of Propercorn, which I'm sure most of you recognise. So thank you very much for coming today, and I really enjoyed your presentation. So would you mind telling us how your brand links to health and why that's so important to you?
So the idea for Propercorn was my co-founders, a girl called Cassandra, and the idea came about by spotting a gap in the market. On the one side, you'd have kind of chocolate, crisps, biscuits and cake. On the other hand, you'd have maybe like apples or rice cakes, and there was nothing really in between in terms of giving you a snack that really hits that kind of your taste satisfaction, but doesn't leave you feeling really guilty afterwards. And so it was while she was working for an advertising firm in London that she kind of noticed this, and every day around 3 o'clock someone would go out and buy lots of chocolate and cake, and everyone would get stuck in, and then you'd come away feeling guilty. So it was really about trying to come up with a snack that was essentially guilt-free.
Thank you. So part of Medic Footprints involves promoting well-being for doctors, especially when we're quite busy people, and on nights our diets are pretty terrible. So thanks for that. And the final question, as an entrepreneur or a fellow entrepreneur, tell us about how do you deal with the competition as your business continues to grow?
So it's a really good question. I think for us, we're aware of the competition, but we try not to pay too much attention to them. I think if you do that, you can end up spending too much energy focusing on them rather than focusing on yourselves and innovating and making sure that you are, very focused on what you're trying to do. We really don't want to innovate for the sake of it. If you think about it, probably 95%-ish of innovation fails. And so for us, the lens that we use to make sure that if we are going to kind of create a new product or do anything, is that it has to be the best it can possibly be of that, the best version of that product. And so we're quite focused on making sure that we take our inspiration from the wider market, brands like Apple, Nike, some really fantastic brands who have been around for a long time and who manage to kind of always stay ahead of their kind of competition and of the trends. And so we're trying to do the same, and we do that essentially by not focusing on our competition and actually focusing on like the world, looking at kind of where there might be challenges or answers that we can give to people through our snacks.
Okay, brilliant. And final question, as an entrepreneur for a startup, what's your top tip for success and perseverance?
Oh God. So I think a really good one is to really know your market in terms of your target market. So you have your market is, for me anyway, is anyone who eats popcorn. So that's obviously quite wide. But actually our target market is a very kind of a much smaller group of people, a smaller cluster. And we don't link it necessarily to kind of demographic by like age or spend or anything like that. We actually link it more to an attitude. And so it's really about, for us, how do we create products, how do we interact with people who have the attitude that we want? And we consider those people kind of the tastemakers or the trendsetters, and those are the ones we really want to target and keep engaging with. And by doing that, we'll still engage with a much wider audience, but we're making sure that we're always kind of front-footed. And so I think that anyone starting a new business, just to really try and get into the head of the people they're trying to target and making sure they really understand that person.
Brilliant. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ryan. Really appreciate that, and great to meet you.
Yeah,
thanks.